I got it now. Because if I am recording from my end, so even if my network goes bad, everything gets recorded. Somebody else records, so they cannot hear me in that, over there. So I would like to ask you, Sabrina. I'll start with you. I will ask you that what is your basic understanding or your expectation from our meeting today? Like, what are you looking for, or what do you understand that we would be doing here? So we'd like to know that.
So I understand that you will explain a bit about the coming season, what is special in it, and how we can go through, how we can use maybe some rituals to use the season for more integrating maybe. I mean, I think there was a reason why we were triggered so much in the last weeks. So I hope that we find some ways to heal a little bit more.
Okay, so you have mentioned two points. You have said, like, I'm making a note at the same time. So first one is, like you said, like what's happening in the season, right?
What's happening
in this season, or like
Yeah.
what's special about the season. And then you, or second point you said is, then you want, second point is that any special practice that we can do around this season, right? Okay. Any other expectation?
Your understanding why is it at the moment like this? So many triggers and so much power intensity.
Okay. Anything else?
Not at the moment.
Okay. What about you, Vanita?
Yeah, Rishiji, I just texted you. There's some internet up and down happening for me, so I'll keep the video off.
No problem.
Yeah, about expectation, like I said, from past few months has been quite intense. Like Sabrina mentioned, quite a few old, very deep-rooted patterns are coming up to surface. And even though I want to let them go, there is some block inside me which is not making it easy. So I would like to, understand, is there anything else I can do to make it easy for letting go?
Okay. So Vanita, you have mentioned 3 points. First thing, like you said, like that this time period seems to be very intense, and because of which all deep-rooted patterns are surfacing, and also it's becoming like more difficult to let go of these blockages, or these blockages come and it becomes difficult to let go of them. And then finally you have asked for some kind of remedy on how you can resolve whatever is happening in the present moment, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Soraya, what would you like to share? It was, you want to try again? Okay. Understanding about the month. Okay. 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 And that's it, right? Okay. So okay. So we're waiting for Ashish. Actually, he's going to come here, and I think it's raining, so that's why he's probably running a bit late. Usually he's always on time, but rain is holding him up. So yesterday, and even like since last 2 3 days, it's like a very powerful, you can say, time period which is beginning with a lot of blessings from uh, really auspicious deities. And yesterday was also Guru Purnima, meaning like the light of Guru begins to shine. The light of Guru, meaning the Guru inside us, Guru outside us, meaning the wisdom inside us begins to see and differentiate between things. It begins to come more into life, and allowing us to come out of this intense time period that we all are going through. There is, as we will move forward, I will share the reasons why this time period is such, and why is it like this. And the good news is that I would be sharing these points with you, and not so amazing news is that for some of us, the time period will continue like this for some time. So this is a difficult part of it, but I'm in my personal learnings, I am learning how to share the difficult points also with everyone, because earlier I was just keeping them to myself, not tell people so much about challenges. Instead of that, just focus more on the good things only. So what I'm trying to do now is like trying to speak in a more balanced way, that is like to share the good points, and at the same time also bring awareness around certain challenges. These challenges would vary from person to person. They would be, this is because astrology is a very subject specific science. It is used as like a common science, like, oh, what's your zodiac? Okay, it's this. Okay, so when were you born? Okay, so that means we have some connection. Or you're in this zodiac sign, and you go online, you say compatible zodiac signs or something like this, or what's going on. And that's how we relate, or that's how we try to make it a very general science. But I think there was some issue with the network. Okay, are you able to hear me good?
Yes.
Should I use the headphone? It's being suggested to use the headphone. Is it better now, the audio?
Mm-hmm. Much better.
Yeah, much better.
Okay, because I don't hear. Okay, now I can hear baby. So the can you remind me where I was? What was I saying?
You're not focusing only on the positive or the negative parts.
Yeah,
And it's different for each.
exactly. So I'm not only focusing only on the positive part. There is no negative part as such. I believe there is nothing negative in anybody's horoscope or in our life. There are only challenges that we are going through, and these challenges can be overcome. So what I was also sharing was that not to generalize astrology, and not to uh, connect and relate ourselves with other people's horoscope, or with what is happening at a general, in general what is happening. Because uh, there is one individual astrology, and there is also one collective astrology. So sometimes when we're doing the collective astrology, then it is wise to associate ourselves. But this collective would mean that we are doing an astrology for an entire city or a state, or a big family, or for a country, or for earth as one. Then it's okay to make such assumptions, like, or make such analysis which is very general. But for every individual, it would always be very specific, because it's a very subject specific science. If two people are born together, like if there are a pair of twins, even they will have different life, even they will have different slightly different horoscope. So when twins have different life and different horoscopes, somebody who's completely unrelated to you can never have a very, a similar horoscope like yours. Why I'm sharing this is like that both of you, even all of us, are feeling that this time period is intense. But it is intense, but at the same time it is intense in a very different way for all of us. Sometimes there are some similarities, but it is different, and the way it will work out, the way we will come out of it would also be a bit different. And also the lesson that it is trying to teach us would also be different. Sometimes the issue arises from the same root, but they, after they grow a bit, they branch out, and they are very different. So for example, somebody can say that the past a few weeks or past few months have been very challenging in terms of relationship. So the other person can also say, yes, yes, I'm also feeling the same thing. And a couple of people say, yes, I'm also feeling the same thing. But if we go deeper into it, then we will find that within the challenge that they are experiencing in relationship, it's completely different from the other person. And also, in astrology, it's an amazing science, because what it helps us do is, like, apart from the present, it gives us certain tools to go in the past life, and see the actual root of the issue. Like, why is this something which is whatever is happening, why is it coming? Okay. So that's how I would encourage you to also take astrology, because it's available a lot these days on the internet and everything, which is very good. But at the same time, if things are made very generalized, then we can actually manifest some things for ourselves on our own, like manifest pain. That's why I don't like to share negative things, because if I share something negative with you, and also if you go online, we begin to feel as if there is an omen, or if there is a pattern, or if there is a sign, or if something like this, and we believe it so much that we attract that particular pain more into our life. That's why keeping it very neutral is very important. That's why if you're consulting an astrologer, or if you're studying astrology, or if you're learning astrology, we should be very careful of what kind of information is being floated. Like, because if you talk to anyone, everybody will tell you there's a big shift happening, and there is something very heavy moving, there's something very light moving, or there is something very big happening. But this is a vague statement, because something very big is happening all the time. It will always happen something. If as long as you're living, it is all at every moment something big happening. But what exactly is that thing which is big, which is happening, and how does it impact you, is your personal matter. you know because, like, for example, if you're sailing on a same boat, there are, like, on a same ship, there are 100 people, and the ship meets hits an iceberg. Not It is not necessary that all 100 of them will have the same fate, and it's not necessary that all of them will die in a similar way, although the situation is very similar to all of them. Somebody might be actually looking forward to die, for example, or somebody would be, it could be anything. So that's why not to generalize it. So if whatever information we take on from internet, whatever information we take on from here and there, it needs to be filtered very carefully, because if it's not done, then a lot of time we invite trouble. We create that reality. That reality might not exist for us, it might exist for somebody else. But since we are in a vulnerable state, because the time period is vulnerable for everyone, we begin to believe that, okay, this is also my issue, this issue is also mine, this issue is also mine. And it's normal human tendency is, like, we can very quickly attract and get attached with the negativity compared to the positivity, because remaining positive is a challenge in itself. If waking up every day and doing something is a challenge, because as by nature, we humans are like creatures of lethargy, you can say, or lazy people. We really don't want to do, even if we say, like, no, I like to have this practice. But if given a choice, we just want to relax, and everything should happen the way we want. So we don't want to do karma. But the moment we are on earth, we are automatically linked with doing or performing some or the other karma. And when we do a particular karma, it's a chain reaction. It leads to so many other karmas. And then, there comes a time when the soul, which wants to free itself from karma, says like, why did you start it in the beginning? So just giving this respect to our soul and understanding what its real purpose is only to observe, it's only to experience, observe the experience that the body is having, and then learn from it and move on. So giving this respect to soul and performing our karmas without so much of attachment, without so much of expectation, and without so much of feeling of not receiving, or feeling of like incomplete or something. If you just leave that aspect aside and just move forward, uh, things become much easier for us. So we have already almost started. It's 11:20. I think Ashish is running very late, so I think we will just continue. uh, so the expectations that both of you have shared, all three of you have shared, is appreciate them. I will share. I will like to tell you what all things I am planning to cover, and what all things I would like to share, talk about. So what's happening in this season, definitely we will talk about that. That is what I will be talking about today. How I'm going to relate this thing and how I'm going to talk about this thing is from the point of view of astrology, and then it's simple understanding in terms of mythology and practices and rituals, how it is done in India. And then, like, what is the special practice that we can do during this month, that also I will share with you. And then the reason why there are so many triggers, that I will try to maybe cover today, and in coming days, in coming weeks, in the next sessions, we will be also covering these things. What is triggering? I will try to give. I will try to give as much clarity as possible, but sometimes some things might not be very clear, because, like I said, it sometimes something might not work for you. You will say like, yeah, but this is true, but I'm not feeling this way, good or bad. It could be because, like I said before, it's a subject specific science, so that because of that you can feel like that. Then the old rooted patterns which are coming up, and things which are surfacing, and things which are like causing a blockage, and things which are, and the reason why they're not moving away, that definitely will share a lot. That is the dance of Shiva that we will be covering. And then why is this month particularly around Shiva? Why is it around that? That also I will cover. These are your expectations. So basically what I'm trying to say is, like, all the expectations that you have mentioned, I would be covering them. That's also in my agenda. And apart from that, what also is in my agenda is to help us understand that this particular time period, what is it indicating in terms of the balance of karmas, meaning where to invest our energies and where to take our energies from, which is the area of our life or our practice from where there is a source of energy is sitting there. So the Kundalini of Shiva, meaning where is the root and where is the Sahasrara for this moment and in our life. It would also vary uh, from person to person, but generally the discussion that I will have is around the general Kundalini of this time. So it is of the time. The horoscope is of present time. It's not of an individual. So based on that, where is the Kundalini energy, and between what axis is it working? So, and to where to draw the energy from, and where to invest. And also, if you like to believe in the planets, which are responsible for these chakra activation, you can say, or for these Kundalini activation, the planets which are responsible, I will share that as well. I think my network is again going bad. Am I audible?
Mhm. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's clear.
Great. So this balance also, this dance also, I will try to share. So the connected planets and connected zodiac signs, and also the connected areas of concern in our life. I would cover them. So whatever resonates with you, I will request you to take it. Whatever doesn't, you can drop it. I would really appreciate that you take this session or take the workshop with a very open mind. And also I will encourage you to ask me questions. If the sorry,
No problem.
so the electricity just went off, and the device went off also along with it. Okay, so what I was saying was that this the balance between the zodiac signs, the planets, and the energies, like in the aspects of our living, aspects of our life. Can you answer that? Just tell him to come. Okay, Ashish, calling back. Sorry about that. So this is what I will be covering, and then other related subjects like the sun in the sign of Cancer. How is it affecting us? What is it working around? What's happening around with that? I would be talking about that, and also retrograde planets, planets which are retrograde right now, and how are they impacting? How they can be made use of, and how we can just basically what is the impact that they are trying to make on our life. So I will be covering that as well. And the one of the session I would like to actually devote towards just chanting and mantra chanting. So it would be maybe in coming, not this week but coming week. So this would be a Shiva mantra, and it's a Mahamrityunjay mantra. uh, Vanita, I'm sure you know the Mahamrityunjay mantra, right? And what about you, Sabrina?
Yes.
Have you heard of this mantra, Sabrina?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, it's quite a long mantra, and so what we will do is like we will chant. So if I will share the text also, so you can read and chant. But at the same time, if you're not able to read it, we will spend some time on just chanting the mantra. So even if you're not chanting, if you're listening, it gives good results. This coming month is really very auspicious for chanting this mantra. This mantra uh, is very healing. So we have Ashish here. Please, Ashish, come join. Yeah. So we are, Ashish, we are doing an expectation setting, understanding what we would be doing in the coming weeks around this, entire workshops. So I've taken everybody's expectation. If you have any expectation, I would really like to take it from you.
No, I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't thought about it.
Okay. So you come with a very open.
I haven't thought about it. So
Okay. So what I've explained so far, I'll just give you a quick recap in 5 minutes. What we were talking about is that what we are doing in this workshop and how we are going to understand. So basically, there is a sort of a movement in the skies, okay, which creates a sort of axis or an energy axis, and because of that, there is an impact on us. There's an impact on our day-to-day living. There is an impact on us as at an individual level, at a society level, and at a complete global level, right? So what this workshop, what its objective is to take this opportunity to share the axis, the place where this axis is forming, the connected deities, the connected planets, the connected zodiac signs, and also the connected areas of our life. So what area basically it wants us to go into. Now there might be two things happening. One is that we are too much indulged in those areas, meaning that those areas are coming so much on us that we are out of control, or else we are keeping ourselves completely away from that, completely away from the learning. So the idea is to go into it, get the learning, but not get too much indulged. So just maintaining a balance. So this is all about maintaining the balance. So the coming weeks, what we plan to do is like we talk about this balance where it is. Then we also talk about the mantras that we can chant. Basically, it's the Mahamrityunjay mantra. So one of the day we would be only chanting mantra to just invoke the energy. and then about retrograde planets, and about how sun behaves when it is in the sign of Cancer, and how things happen, and what kind of result or what kind of effect it can have on us, right? Through our practice we can come over a lot of these challenges, and also through our, like, it's completely dependent on us how much we want to relate with these things. If we completely disconnect with these things, so these things are like, you know, a learning experience for us, we can ignore the learning experience. So that's why it's important, if something is happening, why to use astrology, is because if there's something happening, there's some sort of a shift or some sort of an energy which is active, if we are just aware of that at that point of time, we can make best use of it by just feeling the experience, just going for the experience, and remaining an observer, not getting indulged with it. What happens is two things, like I said before: either people are completely indifferent to it, they do not allow the energies to work with them, or they see the energy, it comes into their existence, and then they get too much of influenced by it. So you will find people are like very much stressed, or people are like indifferent to stress. They are like, I don't know, there is stress, I don't know, I don't, nothing. So they are not allowing any themselves to feel anything. So both the situations are not very good. The good situation would be to know what is happening and take the learning and then move forward. That is what the you know, one of the use that we can make out of this. Now if you have you ever any one of you, have you ever seen your own horoscope? Do you know the Indian way of drawing a horoscope? Have you seen that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sure you also have done that, Vanita.
Yes.
Okay, so I will begin with letting you know that what is the planetary placement of different planets right now, in which zodiac sign they are, and if they are conjoined with anyone, and what does it mean, just briefly over that, and also the degrees at which it is. So right now, if we talk about exactly right now, we are in the sign of Virgo rising. Virgo rising allows us, Virgo is a sign for healing, you can say, and also learning. So Virgo rising allows us, or gives us an opportunity to use the knowledge that we are going to share for our own self-healing processes, self-own healing practices. So this is a good auspicious hora for learning healing techniques. Now the moon, the reason why it is very special, yesterday was very special, is because the moon has moved into the nakshatra or the constellation of Shravan nakshatra. And Shravan nakshatra basically allows us to connect with the gods, with the deities, with the universe, because Shravan basically allows us to understand and hear, listen to what is happening. Shravan also means to hear, you know, in the literal translation is also hearing. And this entire month that we are going to be entering into is called the month of Shravan, or Savan. You know, in very simple language, we call it Savan or Shravan. In this is a very important month. Why? Because this month is when Shiva is in his creative mode. So if you will look at the way Holy Trinity is described in India, it's like Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesha, where Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is preserver, and Mahesh is the destroyer. But in if we there are other philosophies where Shiva is all three of them, and he takes different roles because he is the basic point of inception. So this is a place where Shiva is in his creative mode, and at the same time destructive. So life will originate in this month, and life will also die in this month. So this is a very transformative month. Basically, the reason why it's a Shiva month is because this is a transformative month. New life, new trees, new plants, water in the seas, everything will rise, everything will rise. And inside us also, in our body also, there will be a lot of things which will be changing. And at the same time, old patterns, old habits, old things, or things which are not able to cope up will fade away or will die. That's why this month becomes very, very strong. This month is given only for something, or for the nature to actually rejuvenate itself. This month is not really for taking up new projects. The new projects will come on its own. If a new project is coming, let it come on its own, but we are not supposed to engage into it. But it is still like, for this is a contradictory statement, because this month is very auspicious, but nothing is allowed to be done in this month. So people say like, don't do anything, like, just pray to Shiva, just do mantra, just do all these things. But auspicious things, like for example, if somebody is planning to start something new or something, they say, or getting married or something, they would say like, don't do it now. Although they say like this month Shiva, it's Shiva's wedding month also. It's like they say like Shiva is getting married, so he's that means he's bringing life and everything. But for humans, they say like it has been forbidden. They say like, okay, this month, in this particular month, don't get married, don't start family, don't do all these things. Reason is because this month is for rejuvenation and cleansing, and for allowing new energy to flow, and for allowing new life to come. So the new life will come on its own from within us, if we align ourselves with the practices. So basically what this month expects from us is like that, throughout the month, if somebody is interested, or if it's possible for them to fast at least one time, having meal only one time, and engaging ourselves with more and more mantra chanting. The mantras can always be directed towards Shiva. Like a simple mantra is Om Namah Shivaya, which is equally powerful than any other mantra. But if you are in your if you're aware of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra, and if you're able to chant it, very good time to chant this mantra. This is also a good mantra for making Shivalingams. For somebody who's making Shivalingam, who likes to make, you can make your own Shivalinga with earth. Just make it look like a Shivalingam. So what it does is like, it helps in, as per the mythological point of view, it helps in clearing a lot of past life karmas, heavy karmas, or stuck energies, blockages. It helps in clearing that. It helps in clearing our karmas. So there was a great battle of Mahabharata. I think you might have heard of it. When this battle got over, and then the five brothers who fought this battle against a great army, they were feeling very sad about killing their own brothers and doing the kind of karma they have done on earth. So what they were suggested was to make Shivalingams, just to make them. So they say like, if you just make Shivalinga and you put your mantra into it, what it does is like, it just takes away the negativity or the negative karma that you have accumulated. So this month actually gives that advantage, that whatever, if you're making, for example, 10 Shivalingams, it's as good as making 100. So the result is more. So that's why chanting, doing all these practices and everything is really good to be done in this month. Mondays are especially more auspicious. Every Monday, if you do Shiva mantra, and you start early morning by pouring Ganga Jal, or Ganga water, or normal water mixed with milk on a Shivalingam, it's considered very auspicious. It's considered like it will wash away a lot of sins. So if you don't want to waste a lot of milk, you can just take maybe put a few drops of milk into it, and more of water, and offer it to Shiva. There's also some kind of leaves, which I don't know if they are available in Germany, but these are, if actually Shiva is like very amazingly interesting. You can just offer any kind of leaf to him, or any flower, or any leaf. It does not have to be fancy. The whole point of worshiping Shiva is that he does not want fancy things. He wants things that are coming from your heart, things that are easily accessible. So whatever flower, whatever fruit, whatever leaf, branch, or whatever is available close to you, you can just go there, ask the tree to allow you to take the leaf, and then offer it to Shiva. So what it does is like, this offering, it just cleans our heart. It just cleans the blockages in our chakra system. It's a magical thing what it does. So that is one thing that can be done during these months. Otherwise, normal fasting that we do, normal fasting process is very good. important, like I said before, is to remember to chant as much as possible. It is very, very auspicious time to chant. You can chant anytime during the day, at night. If you can chant at around 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning, it's even better. That's even more stronger time period. So that is one thing about this month. Then I was sharing about the planetary placement right now. So the sun is in the sign of Cancer, and moon is in the sign of Capricorn. Now moon is conjoined with Saturn. So Saturn and moon, both of them are in the sign of Capricorn. Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius. Now Saturn and Jupiter, both of them are retrograde. Although Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, but Jupiter is still very close to the moon. There is still a connection happening between moon and Jupiter and Saturn as well. If Saturn would have not been in this conjunction, it would have been even more beautiful conjunction, because this conjunctions would have allowed a lot of clearing for all of us, allowed a lot of a major shift in time for all of us. But Saturn's presence over there slows down everything and also lets the challenges still stay there. When moon and Jupiter come together, it forms a very powerful, a very amazing, and a very good yoga. Both of them together is a very auspicious yoga. But since Saturn is also there, so it is not that auspicious. It is more still learning. Auspicious in simple understanding, what people how people are using auspicious in simple understanding is like when you're easily able to overcome your challenges. That is auspicious. And inauspicious basically means when you are not very, the challenges are there, but you're not able to overcome them very easily. It takes some time. That is only the difference between auspicious and inauspicious. So it should not be considered as bad or not good or anything. It's just the amount of input required is increased when the planets are in a sort of an inauspicious position. Then Mercury is in its own home. It's in the sign of Gemini, and Mars and Venus are conjoined in the sign of Leo. So this conjunction that Mercury and Venus are offering, it is a conjunction which is bringing, which is very powerful in actually bringing a harmony between the feminine and the masculine energy inside us, and also working on the ego. So what happens is, in this time period, either of the two can happen. One is like, either you would be able to find a balance between your masculine and feminine, or you can lose the balance. If you already had a balance, you can lose that balance, because both of the energies, whichever is strong in your chart, is going to take on your ego. So it will work from a place of ego. So you can say our personality, our decisions can be coming from a place of ego, more compared to what it comes from in normally, or less compared to what it comes normally, depending on a person's chart. So but this is an important, why this is an important point for us to remember, is that if we find that there is an ego battle between our own internal masculine and feminine, and also external, so this can also be externally coming out. If there's this kind of imbalance which is arising, we need to check, we need to stop, we need to breathe, and we need to like just feel that, okay, what is happening in this moment, how am I reacting, what am I doing, and not to react, and just to observe and go inside, see what is happening. So like in another tradition, like the right side is the masculine and the left side is the feminine. So bringing a harmony between these two sides, bringing a harmony in our actions, in our anger, and in our control, in our cool, in our patience. So whichever side is losing its touch, we need to focus on that part. So if you find yourself getting more aggressive, if you find yourself getting more passionate about things, and like wanting, demanding too much compared to what you were before, then this is a place where we really need to work, or really need to check. Then the nodes.
So the nodes play the most important role in Vedic astrology, because this is, you can say, this is working on daily basis, and it has a very deep and long impact on us compared to other planets. They are the closest. All the other planets are still far away. They are the closest than all the other planets, so they have a direct impact on us. And they also, we can imagine them, the nodes, to be like the Kundalini energy for us. So one of the node is representing the Sahasrara chakra, and the other one is indicating the root or the Mooladhara chakra. So wherever they are placed in the horoscope, they are having their own dance from there. They are also having their own influence on us from there. And right now, the influence that they're having is really very powerful. It's very, very powerful because it is working between known and the unknown. It is working between living and the dead, or the undead, actually undead. Something which is dead but is still being carried on by us in our mind, the undead. It is trying to create a balance between family and solitude. So or it's struggling over there, so the family would mean your immediate family, it would mean your clan, or the group of people, or your big extended family. And your individual also would mean you in this life, but you in your previous lives, you having memories of other lives, whatever is still stored in your subconscious. So balance between them. This is a also in terms of the elements. This is a sort of a balancing situation for uh, earth element and water element. So what happens is, what you will notice over here is the balance is between rigidity and fluidity. How you will the blockages can come up, and how you can move the blockages. So these planets, this is actually the dance of Shiva, or the topic that I had mentioned in the poster. This is the thing in which is happening in this month, and it is happening at a very important place. Because it's happening at this important place, because I told about this month is about creating life and also destroying. So Shiva, what he's doing is like he's creating, or he's encouraging us to take on endeavors which are meant for this life. And at the same time, what we could be doing at our end is that we are sticking with the previous life experiences more, trusting them more. So we are not trusting the present life or present moment, but we are trusting the past life, past moments, or past experiences from this very life also. So like Sabrina, when you said, or also Vanita, when you said like this time period is so intense, and why these things are happening and all. So one of the reason why this thing happening, or the most important reason why this thing is happening, is because of this imbalance between past experiences and present. So we are keeping our eggs, or we are believing more in the past and not in the present. So what we're doing is like we are working very hard around the Mooladhara chakra, but we are not letting the energy move up to the Sahasrara. Because if the energy will move up, you will see that the roots, so beautifully you use this word, that deep rooted patterns. So the deep rooted patterns are rooted in your root chakra or in your Mooladhara, and they are surfacing because they want to rise up through your entire Kundalini, through your entire chakras, and reach up here and go and release. So what we're doing, we're not releasing. Either we're making an incomplete practice of moving it from Mooladhara till Ajna, and from here we are not letting it go. We bring it here and then we drop it again. So what happens is, like, if it comes till here and it does not go out, then you get a headache, or then you get stress, or then you get anxiety, or if you're getting all these things, that means that because whether you want it or not, the energy is rising on its own. So it's rising, it's creating its challenges, but it gets blocked. For some people it can get blocked at other place also. It could, if you're feeling too much of energy in your swadhisthana or lower chakra or any other chakra, that means this is the place till where it is able to rise for you. This is the place till where you are able to let go of things from the past or from your previous lives or places like that. Then there's also the another imbalance is happening, or you can say the in terms of our nature, is that there is a very strong tug of war between having a very fixed a fixed opinion or anchored opinion, and a moving opinion, moving in the sense wanting to go, wanting to move forward. The the complexity in whatever I'm saying is that the nodes who are creating this kind of an tug of war, they have some good and some not so good in both of them. So there are something which are good about the north node, and there are something which is good about the south node, and there are something which is difficult about the north node and difficult about the south node. So we cannot lot of times we can come across saying that this is good or that is good, or this is good and this is not good, or whatever. It will not work that way. If we will say that my Mooldhara is feeling fine, but my Sahasrara is not feeling fine, so I think I'm feeling good. No, it will not work this way. The way it will work is like both of them need to be balanced. So we need to revisit the past, and then we also need to be in the present, do both the things at the same time, and then letting go also of the past blockages. If we are not letting go of the past blockages, then what we're doing is we are not connecting, letting the energy flow freely. So the Kundalini will not shake, the Kundalini will not move. This entire month is all about this only. This entire month, every year when it comes, it is all about this only, about the family that we are born in, and the family in which we were born before. So the family, I'm using the word family, but this is, you can say, circumstances or resources or energies and all these things. Now in simple terms, what you will find that this time period will encourage or create opportunities for you to learn more about occult sciences, your practices, yogic practices, meditation or yogasana or anything. There would be either a calling, an opportunity, or you yourself would be able to use these practices. But the real balance is in actually applying these practices rather than just doing these practices. Applying these practices in letting go of even these practices. Now letting go of these practices means that not attaching and not creating a comfort zone with these practices. So you will find that you can feel that I am feeling very comfortable in doing certain asanas, I'm feeling very comfortable in doing certain meditation, I'm feeling very, very comfortable, and I can actually feel I can meditate the whole day. It's very good. You can do that. But if you just do this thing, there would be no shaking again in the Kundalini. You have to do that. Something will surface, and then you have to let go of that thing. If you are not letting go of that thing, that means you're creating a pattern of remaining in an occult practice, of remaining in the underworld. So what we do is like we just begin to live with the ghosts from the past, and we turn them into reality. We will feel like, okay, whatever was this thing is the reality, and the reality is not there anymore. So that's why this is a very challenging also situation, because if this thing doesn't work, then we waste a lot of our energy, a lot of our time in just getting stuck or remaining stuck with the past patterns. So that's why this dance is so important. This dance, like I said again, is happening between available resources and resources from the past. We need to trust more on the available resources. That is where the lesson to be learned is. Whatever we have the resources now, whatever resources we have from our previous life, or our things which are coming out of our intuition, or things that we don't know, we need to let go of that. Vanita, you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I had a question. Like, I didn't understand when you mentioned about considering what is happening as reality, but it is not, could you elaborate a little more? I couldn't understand.
Okay. So basically, it is about getting stuck with any kind of a memory which is not allowing us to move forward. It can be a memory from recent past also. It can be a memory from past lives or wherever. In not coming in the present, not coming in the present, meaning like whatever you have now. So, for example, whatever job you are doing, whatever house you're living, whichever country you're living, if it's good, if it's not good, maybe, if it's not good, then you don't need to really go back in the past saying that in the past it was so good, it was so amazing. If it is good in the moment, but if you go in the past saying that, oh, in my past it was so sad, so bad, now I'm feeling good, but it was so bad, and this was like such a struggle and everything, and you go back in the process of going into your shell. Basically, what can be experienced is like that the body will deceive in a way that, but the body will make us feel, the body will include the brain. So the body will make us believe that it is sinking in, as if it is the body is standing on quicksand and it is sinking in. It is not actually sinking in, but we will allow it to sink in. And if we allow it to sink in, the real, you can say, our real soul, or our real thoughts, the real personality who we are, would not be able to work, because we will give all the power to a hidden place, to a place which is not really existing but is an illusion. So we will go into a black hole sort of a place where it is just consuming us, and there is no base. So this is the biggest challenge with this particular axis, that it creates it such makes it look like such an amazing place, that you will give in to the black hole, because you will get excited about finding the base of an infinite uh, space. So you are entering into an infinite zone. You will never hit the base. It will keep on going. So what it does is like it creates past life patterns, it brings them to life, and those patterns becomes your reality. So instead of coming into this world now, so for example, when you say that some deep rooted patterns are coming up, so it is a very beautiful observation, Vanita, that deep rooted patterns are coming up. What are you doing with them now? So are you going back with these deep rooted patterns? Are you spending a lot of time only with them? Or are you saying like, okay, yeah, I got this thing, and this is so much I can do with this, now I need to move out of it. So if there is something that a little bit of learning that you can do from that pattern, it's good. But if there is no learning from that pattern and it is just a pattern, then you need to let go of that pattern. This is what it means, like, basically coming into present, moving out of the past, because the past is very infinite. This is a, if you know the if you know about astrology, if you've heard of this bhava called Ashtam Bhava. Have you heard of Ashtam Bhava, Vanita?
No, I don't
Okay.
know.
So this is Ashtam Bhava. It's like, you can say the number 8. So if you look at the number 8, it is the sign of infinity. So itself, it is the sign of infinity. The axis which is forming is in number 8. The axis forming itself is in infinity. So through the infinity, we have to draw ourselves out and enter into this world, from where we are able to create new reality. The axis is between 2 and 8. So 2 being you, being an individual, you sharing the life that you have inside with the outside world, becoming a resource, or creating a family. So a family does not necessarily mean over here that you marry, or that kind of family. The family over here means the spreading out of your resources, the spreading out of your energies, whatever is stored inside you, bringing that out. So instead of going very much inwards, this is about finding what is inward and bringing it out. If you go inward, then again the same thing will happen. You will try to search for the root or the base, and you will never reach there. You will never find it. It's infinite. That has been explained, that it is infinite. Don't go for it. Just go there, take some, and then come back. Don't remain stuck there. This entire balance is around that only. Now, before I move forward, I would like to ask you if you have any question, Sabrina.
No, not at the moment.
Okay, Vanita.
No, thank you.
Soraya?
Maybe one said the month is not for new projects, right?
Not so much. Yes, exist. It is.
But
Sorry. Yeah. Go ahead.
but it's to try new things.
Yes. So
Okay.
it is a you can say it's a month for healing and speeding up the existing projects. Okay, but very new projects, we can just wait for them. If it is an existing project, nurturing it more, it's good, but creating something new is not very much advised right now, because everything is unpredictable, in the sense that a piece of land, for example, that you found was very fertile and you wanted to grow something, it can rain so much that the piece of land disappears. It's an example I'm giving you. So meaning, like, whatever idea, thought you have, just work on that more, meditate on that more, and after this month you can implement into practice. But this month is more about meditating on that idea. This month is more about remaining still, because this month in itself is flowing. So while it's flowing, it's not just flowing, it's overflowing. So when it's overflowing, it will try to erase your existence about certain areas or something like that. So we have to protect also, we have to let go also, and also have to protect. So we don't have to let go too much, we don't have to not let go of it. The old pattern in which we were letting go, or the old pattern in which we were performing, that needs to be let go, and entering into a new world, entering into a practical world which is in the moment, which is present now. So if you were having a lot of struggles, like let's suppose in last few months or last 1 year or something like that, so this is time to first of all communicate with yourself very clearly, telling yourself that okay, that time is over and I cannot remain there. And you can do only so much about it. For example, if you did something, let's suppose you did something wrong, in your past, and now you're just having too much of regret around it. All the time you're just regretting. So you're not coming out of the thing that you did. You are making it more powerful every day by thinking about it again and again. You're not moving out of it. So this month tells us, like, come out of it, come into a place where you create a new reality for you, learn from what you did wrong, but don't remain stuck there, and move forward. Just rejuvenation is this month is for rejuvenation. This is like a mid month, you can say the midpoint of this year. We have reached the midpoint of the year. So it's a time to reflect on what we have done, and it's also a time to create what we're going to do from now on, from here on, for till the year completes. What are we planning to do? How are we planning to transform? So that's what this month basically signifies. Okay, have I answered your question, or
Yes, thank you.
okay, you have any other question?
No.
Yeah, Suraya, Ashish, any question? Okay. Okay. So just give me a moment, I'll have some water. I don't know how to. Okay. All right. Thank you. Sorry about that. So, so if you want to make a note, I will share the planets and the zodiacs, which are responsible for each of the chakra. You can use this for also your own practice, and if you have any astrological understanding from that point of view. Wait. Okay. So like I said, the axis is formed at Mooladhara, and Mooladhara chakra is ruled by Saturn. Saturn, ever since this Corona thing is happening, Saturn has moved into it's like a Saturn return for the whole world, which started, and Saturn is still there. So astrologically, we are expecting when Saturn moves out of this particular zone, then this Corona thing is probably going to come to an end, and things will come back to normal. Now, this particular axis that we're talking about, or the shadow that we're talking about, is also being influenced by Saturn. The Mooladhara chakra is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn has the north node, you can say, operating with it. So the north node, what it does is like it uh, makes the body follow without reason, without knowing why it is doing something. That's why when I was talking about the practices that we could be doing, so you can find that the body is very much ready to do the practices. The body is feeling very relaxed, the body is feeling very fine and everything, and you are able to silence your brain for some time, and you can meditate and everything. But at the same time, this is like a illusion that the node is creating along with Saturn. The reality is to move out of that and see the light. The Sahasrara is ruled by Sun, so the reality is moving towards Sun or moving towards light. So even whatever practice we're doing, if there is a sort of darkness that is arising in our own practice, we need to move out of that. So if you're creating, for example, this can indicate you can isolate yourself from other people and just go too much into your own practice. If this is happening, this should be checked immediately. And you can also become very rigid with your practice. If that is happening, that again needs to be checked. And you can get very passionate with your particular practice, that no, this is really good, I think this is very powerful, and I just want to do this thing all the time, or whatever, like that. That also needs to be checked, because this Mooladhara is not showing the reality right now. Mooladhara in this particular time period is not showing the reality. Sometimes it does, the axis changes, then when it comes back to there, then it is showing reality. But in this present time, it is the place where we are getting hung up with our previous lives. Right now, it is in a place where we are getting creating stories from the past and remaining stuck in the past. And so the deities or the energy that we can worship or to come out of this would be Saturn, uh, and he can definitely help us out. The signs are obviously Aquarius and Capricorn again, and also Scorpio, the sign of Scorpio. So which means that the planet Mars is also engaged or involved in the present time period. So Mars, what it can do is like it can cause injuries, or it can also, you can experience uh, boils or pimples, or a lot of like rashes, or excessive heat in your body, or hair loss, and these kind of things, or anger in general, just getting angry very much for no reason. These things can show up, and this if these things are showing up, that this also means that you are having a weakly positioned Mars in your chart, which is out of control, and which is pushing you again more and more towards the underworld, or more and more towards uh, the undead world, the world which is undead for you. So you're going back in your pattern. So Mars is a very ferocious planet. So what it does is, like, it not only takes you into the underworld, but also makes you believe that you are doing some kind of cleaning over there, because Mars represents weapons. So, or like a sword, you can say sword or knife. So what it makes you feel is like it just begins to chop things. It starts to cut. It starts to chop, or whatever it sees. So it is not necessarily chopping off the right thing, and that's why we need to be aware of this thing. Because what it is, since it is going into the underworld, it is trying to kill something which is already dead. So it will not happen. So this is a way in which this can just waste your energy and time. So like when you said, like, a lot of things are very intense, things are very heavy, things are not moving, this is a good idea, is to meditate and see that what is it exactly that you're expressing when you use these words. What are those issues exactly? Are they things from the present? Are these things from the past? Are these some kind of patterns, or some kind of a belief system, or some kind of, like, a past life or past year's trauma or something like that? So if you give too much of strength to the trauma, the trauma will take over you. Basically, this is what this time indicates. The dance of Shiva is this, that he will take you in the trauma, and then he tells you that he shows you the trauma, he gives you a complete recap. So after you've seen the recap, he says, now watch the new movie. So what you can do is, like, instead of watching the new movie, you can just get yourself engaged with watching the recap again and again and again and again. That is something you need to come out. Okay. Any doubt or anything? No. Let me just
No.
look at something else. Wanting to share something. Okay, and also if we this is a bit from a Vedic point of view. So just listen to it. If, as much as you understand is great. If you understand all of it, it's perfect. So if we look at the dharma of the present moment, or how the dharma is working at the present moment, the dharma is getting support. And how it's getting support, it's being supported by Jupiter, the planet which signifies dharma. But now, where Jupiter is supporting is again at a challenging place. It's again in the infinity, meaning that this is a very, very delicate place to be in, because whatever we have discussed so far, the planet Jupiter will try to push us there, or the guru inside us will try to take us into this underworld where I'm saying that we should not go into. But the planet Jupiter will try to take us there, because there is some very deep understanding or deep learning which it wants to give us. And we really need to understand that it only wants us to take the learning and come back. So you will find that either you can find a good teacher in the coming months, in this coming month, a good teacher or a person who will give you some clarity, or you yourself would be able to just think about and meditate and find some clarity in something which is very dark inside you, in something which is very unknown about you. So Jupiter will encourage that. But again, after having said this thing, again I will repeat the same thing what I said before, remembering to not fall for it and just go only into it. Whatever you go and do inside there, it's amazing, but have to immediately come out. Immediately you have to continuously, like, just move forward. Whatever the patterns are and everything, need to let go of them. If you don't let go of them, then the pattern just continue to control us, and the pattern becomes the reality. this entire month, you can say, or this entire dance of Shiva, you can say, or the nodes, you can say, it's only around this. This month gives us such a great opportunity to create and preserve more and more resources for our coming years, for our coming life. Our focus should completely shift from the old issues into making or creating new resources, new reservoirs, new banks, new places where we store our energy. In fact, like literally also, like if somebody has a lot of money, uh, I could recommend them to actually open up a new bank account, a separate bank account, a new bank account, with a thought in their mind that I'm going to use this money for this particular reason. So you will see this money can attract a lot of abundance. This money can have a lot of abundance. Obviously you would be the source of that abundance. You would invest, or you would keep on saving, and the account grows bigger, because this is a time for not only your bank in terms of your money, but also bank in terms of your own karma. So if you ever wonder, like, there was a very difficult situation and you were stuck there with like 4 or 5 of your friends, and all your friends got punished and somehow you got lucky and nothing happened to you. And if you wonder like why it happened with you, that happened because in your previous life you took care of this resourcing that I'm talking about. You moved on, you created a balance of not going into infinity and not remaining in a shell. You came out of it and you created a balance, and you created that balance and preserved and saved this balance in a secret account. And now you, whenever you are in difficulties, you take out something from this secret account. So this secret account is your account of your good deeds, basically. So when when you're remaining stuck, sorry, in the old pattern and or in the infinity, what you're doing is you're not letting the soul create new account, create new memories, create new energies for you. And when you do this thing, we become unfair towards the soul. We are so much in belief with the body and with the mind that we ignore the soul. And when we ignore the soul, we just do karmic things based on body, and we are not able to accumulate anything. So for example, people are like these days working from a materialistic point of view. So we make a lot of money, we put a lot of money in our bank. But in olden days, in India especially, if you had 100 rupees in your bank account, you would spend 30 to 40 rupees on just doing good deeds for other people. And when you were doing this thing, you were creating a parallel bank account for your karmas, so that whenever you are in trouble, you can get the blessings, the grace from there. So that grace is what is this time period also indicating. So even if you do something good and you don't get to see the result immediately, it is going to go into your bank account. This time period can be very good for learning something new, not starting up with something, but learning something new. So learning can be a new beginning for learning can be there. But learning at the same time, learning from the occult, but using it in the present time, not using it in the past. One Okay. So basically, this is what I wanted to talk about with this access only for today. And in the next workshop, I will give you more details on how to, what all additional things are happening. And I would encourage you, after, like, if you understood like what I or how I am going about these workshops, I would encourage you to maybe create questions or doubts, whatever you have, which can be answered from the point of view from which where I am speaking, or from areas from where I am talking. So this would be the answer would be general. It would not be very specific to your individual case. So I would encourage you to also ask questions which are general, instead of just making like very specific, because very specific would mean that I would have to understand your personal horoscope to know what it means. So yeah, with this, I would like to ask you if you have any questions or any doubt. If no, then I will let's just wrap it up in this session. and meet you all next week. So anything you want to share or anything you want to suggest? Vanita, are you there?
No. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just thinking that um, just like always with your sessions, whatever I'm going through, it is in sync with what you're explaining. So the specifically to when you mentioned a lot of anger coming up and those kind of symptoms which you mentioned. So it gave me a clarity as to why it is happening and what I can do to come out of the loop. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. Okay, so if you don't have any questions, Sabrina, or any doubt, then we can wrap it up and see you next week. And do you have like your mala beads or anything with you? Yeah, so if possible, maybe in the next one we can use those mala beads for the chanting purpose. We would be chanting. Okay, same for you, Vanita. So if you have Rudraksh mala, it's even better. And if you have a Rudraksh mala, it is a good idea to wear it around this month, starting tomorrow. So you can just keep it with you all the time. It gets energized. And if you're doing any chanting, chant on the beads. So the energy from your body will begin to flow into the Rudraksh and from Rudraksh back into you, just doing a cleansing job for you. So if you have Rudraksh, basically, if you don't have that, then any other mala would also do the good job. The I will send you the mantra on WhatsApp. Also, I will chant it for you one time, so you can just listen to it. It's also, the chanting is also available online on YouTube and everywhere, and so you can just come into the practice for this mantra. And this month is very, very auspicious for chanting this mantra. Tomorrow is Monday, and if possible, to start your day by like pouring water on Shivalingam. If you don't have a Shivalinga or a temple near you, then just pouring water into a tree. Any tree is okay for that reason. If you don't have a specific tree, just offering that water, maybe mix it with a little bit of milk and offer it to this tree. If there are any cows or bulls, and if it's possible to feed them, that's also very good time period to feed them. And basically preserving all form of life. You might see insects and ants and all these things. They usually come in this month. Maybe not in Germany, but in India they will. So not really killing them, but allowing them to do whatever they're doing and asking them to just quietly move in their own space. So they will try to create or build in your space. If you're not harmed, or like if they're not very harmful, then if you want them to stay there for some time, you can do that. Otherwise, you can ask them to move from there, but without hurting them. So a lot of life will sprout, so let it happen. Do not stop that. Even in you yourself, a lot of new ideas can sprout. So if they are coming out, bring them out, and don't be afraid, or do not link it with the past. Do not link it with your fears. Do not link it with anything negative. This also this is a good time, if at all you feel a lot of fear or anything. The mantra chanting can also help you release a lot of fear, like dark energies. It can also help you in coming out of the darkness. With that, I will say that thank you for joining in, and I appreciate that. If you have any doubt, any question, any query, you feel free to message me anytime on WhatsApp, and I would be happy to answer that. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you,
Thank
Vanita.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Namaste. Have a good day. Bye.
Namaste.
You too.
Namaste. Uh, Vanita, you have done a session.